I like miniature backpack purses. Single straps hurt your shoulders and back, whereas tiny purses are cute, normally have more space, keep your hands free, and evenly distribute the weight. The term miniature, or small backpacks, is so deceptive. Almost every one I've had can hold a surprisingly large amount of stuff. Like, so much. And it's on both shoulders so you barely even feel it. Well, everything is relative. Mini trucks exist. I'm talking about K-trucks. They are tiny in comparison to your average lorry. Still, they are trucks, so naturally they have more cargo space than an average sedan. Same thing with 10L backpacks. They are definitely small in comparison to other backpacks, but that doesn't prevent them from holding more stuff than an average purse. As a guy, I really like the small form sling style for the instant accessibility without taking it off, and the roomy opportunity for it being a sling. Used to use an old camera bag, designed like an oversized hip/field belt pack for the longest time, but slung over the shoulder. The lens pockets made for great water bottle holders/insulators. I was gifted a micro backpack/sling bag by my dad that was entirely too ducking expensive. Less than a decade ago it would have covered about 90% of my Red Plus utilities for the month for how small it is. It's a ducking purse. I don't care, I'll wear my little purse with pride as a kish dude. It's great for going to big all beer tastings because it's big enough for a fairly decent-sized burrito, a bag of snacks, an extra phone battery, and a small vial of medication and an extra pair of socks. Or I can squeeze my Steam Deck into it. Would I ever have spent hundreds of dollars on this stupid little bag? Duck no. Am I glad to have it? Yeah, because it's hilariously stupid. My chiropractor forbade me from carrying a purse. You have to have that even distribution. Which one is it? I love my backpack purse. It fits more than an average purse, and I'm not having to shift my bag between shoulders thanks to even weight distribution. My BF loves it because I have room for snacks, so he never gets hangry. Remember how bad my shoulders and back used to hurt when I was a school child, because everyone wanted to do the hip thing with one shoulder, so purses with only one strap never worked well for me and hurt. I think your doctor was absolutely right to tell you that. I loved mine until a pickpocket swept my stick out of it while my clueless ass was flying over sticky junk at a flea market. I was looking for a sling bag size backpack with 2 straps. Have you encountered any like that? Similar to Loungefly but for guys. I know this isn't an adult answer, but today my 5-year-old was wearing a backpack around the house for a few hours. Around dinner time I asked her why, and she said, I can't remember, but I want to keep it on in case I remember. So I want to conjecture that may be the situation with at least a subset of adults. Yeah, this explains it perfectly. I never remember what's in my bag or pockets until I need whatever it is, and when I do need it I know exactly where it is. Pretty much. My backpack has all the things in it that I've previously gone off vec. Why didn't I pick up X before I went out? Including the backpack itself if I end up buying groceries on the way home. Yeah, that's the only reason I keep my pants on, in case I would need something from the pockets. I understand forgetting what's in your backpack, but pockets. Doesn't everyone have assigned seating for their pockets? If my keys aren't in my front left pocket or on the stand by my couch, I'd assume they're lost forever. The inverse is true for me. I sometimes forget why do I need a backpack, so I leave it at home. And then I remember and am really mad at myself. This is my favorite answer. I am also not ashamed at all that I may be in that subset. This is true for me. I don't actually know everything that is in my bag beyond things I put in there that I would have needed at some point. With this in mind, my bag is right next to me, so let me check. Contact lens case, notebook, wallet, pack of tissues, surgical mask. These are required to go into pharmacies in my country. Spare phone charger, cable for an iPhone, so harder to find than other cables if you need one. A pen, coins, aspirin. These have all come in useful, and aside from my wallet, aren't the sort of things I would normally carry around in my pockets. To answer OP question, it also usually carries my house keys because I don't like having them in my pocket, as well as my work tablet and some other work-related stuff I might need. Headphones too. During summer it might carry a thermos with an iced drink. It usually also carries shopping if I buy a few things. Means I don't need to use a plastic bag. A tiny civilization, like the one in the locker from Men in Black. I too have forgotten some fruit that later becomes mold inside my backpack. All hail J. All hail J. Oh Jay, can you see? Large adult entertainment section in the back. Don't forget 2 4-1 Tuesdays. Forgotten fruit is also a staple of golf bags. Often forgotten from last season. Nobody will ever be as impressed with you as your own 4-year-old. I made rolls that didn't rise once and she ate 3. I am a biology major and I can tell her very basic things about sharks or birds and blow her mind. I taught her how to play Mario Kart and she congratulates me on doing well every time we play, even if I did an objectively poor job. She tells me good job for going to the bathroom. I'll never have this kind of support again in my life. Every day when we get home from school, I give my son a snack and he says it's great to have a dad like you. Little man, I am literally handing you a bag of sour cream and cheddar chips, but thank you, edit. If your dad sucked, I am sorry and I am your dad now. Our 17-year-old told me today he's going to write his college application essays about all the science things I did with him when he was little. That's why he turned out like he is. Honestly, it made me feel so good I almost cried. So nothing more amazing when the student becomes the teacher. It was a special moment to me when my son was able to tell me facts, or when my other son was able to beat a game I couldn't. It's amazing to see them grow from sponges of everything you say, to actually seeing them seek out knowledge and be excited to share it with you. I had a similar experience with my son. He told me I'm the #1 dad. I asked him how he knew that. He told me he Googled it. Well, son, I can't argue with that. I'm very computer savvy, always have been. I work in software. When I had a kid, I knew there would come a day when they would show me how to do something I didn't know how to do on the computer. I just didn't expect it to happen when they were 6. My dad did the same thing with me. We used to read this old 1950s reference book about the periodic table, and it would list things like each element's density and boiling points, etc. And I was so blown away. I still remember densest element equals osmium over 20 kg per liter. Imagine that milk bottle. He taught me about how different elements came about because of the separate called protons and neutrons and electrons that exist that are like the Lego building blocks of the universe. I was so obsessed with this, and I would ask him every night to tell me about it again, like a bedtime story. Fast forward until today, and I'm getting my PhD in astrophysics. Thank you, science dads, and best of luck to your son. Edit. To clarify, I'm a woman, and remember to be a science dad and a science mom to your sons and daughters. Tonight my 4-year-old came over to me and said, "Daddy, you're really cool." He's definitely wrong, but it's still nice to hear. No one will ever be as unimpressed with you as your own teenager. They do not care what you've accomplished. So, he's not wrong. If you're cool to him, then you're cool. Love yourself the way he loves you. It's the best gift you can give him. My 7-year-old boy and I had a magical moment playing Paper Mario, the Origami King together. There's a point about 3/4 of the way through the game where you're dropped into a game show, and you have the option of playing a sudden death round based on one question. From these 4 choices, pick the one that matches the lyrics from a song that you heard in the first 1/4 of the game. My memory is stick. I guessed. After a tense moment, the womp womp sound played, and Mario got launched out of a cannon over the horizon. Wrong answer. Game over. Boy was crushed. I said we should try again and that we'd get it right this time. We replayed up to the game show again. Again, we got a question about a different song this time. "Daddy, it's B," he said. "I'm pretty sure it's C," I said. "No, it's B. I know it's B." The clock was ticking down to 0. We had to guess. "Okay, buddy." I hit B. A tense moment later, the screen burst into fireworks and applause. Immediately, I leapt out of my seat, laughing and overjoyed, and gave him a huge hug. He beamed like the sun with happiness. We celebrated together that he'd gotten it right. About once every 3 months he brings up that game show, and I tell him how proud I was of him, and we share a moment of joy together. That is high praise indeed, especially from a teenager. We're gonna remember this and ride the high for decades, my dude. I know every parent thinks this, but he's sincerely one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Your kid is the cutest. How is that possible? My 5-year-old assured me that I was the best dad in the world. Jesus Christ, you just reminded me of the time my dad got me sour cream and onion chips when I was like 4. And I was so excited to tell someone, so because it was the only phone number I knew, I called 911 to tell them my dad is the best dad ever because I have chips now. The dispatcher called my parents later and said it made their whole week. My dad wasn't as pleased. This dude, dads. She tells me good job for going to the bathroom, encourage that. It'll be really helpful in like 60 years. I hear that a lot from famous celebrities. Their kids don't give a stick that they are on TV and in all these movies. Maybe. I always thought my parents and grandparents were really cool when I was a teen and spent a lot of time with them. I think it depends on the kid. My daughter is only 18 months and impresses me every day with how much stuff she seems to retain. This past week, she started saying tiny sentences. "Daddy, I love you" is my favorite for several reasons, and while the progression seems obvious on a small scale, on a wide scale it's crazy that she couldn't even talk 6 months ago. I'm so excited for when she gets a bit older and I can actually tell her facts about things and have her reiterate stuff she learns about whatever she's interested in. My 17-year-old told me today he's going to write his college application essays about all the science things I did with him when he was little. That's why he turned out like he is. Honestly, it made me feel so good I almost cried. Dear Insert University Admissions Officer, it's been a tough journey enduring hardships for scientific progress. My dearest mother always told me my sacrifices in her experimental lab were for the betterment of society. Franklin Stein. Below 911. I'd like to report an explosion of flavor. You don't have the same perception of time. When I run into a friend and his kids have aged 10 years, you realize how old you are. The days are long, but the years are short. I have a 2-year-old, and it's crazy how she's now a proper child vs baby. It really feels like yesterday she couldn't turn over or hold her head up by herself. You've never felt more important than holding hands with a 2-year-old on the way back from school, or something similar from my favorite book, Anxious People. Mine, let's call her Jane, is turning 4 in July, and it's startling how much emotional growth happens between 2 and 4. Just today her teacher confirmed issues between Jane and her best friend Betty. Jane is an observer and usually avoids participating, while Betty is a whirlwind and magnetic. There is a natural leader-follower dynamic here that grew over a few months. But sadly, the teacher said their relationship has grown toxic. Betty has been bossing Jane around, leading the teachers to keep them separate when possible. Their friendly competition culminated when yesterday Betty said good morning wearing a Disney princess crown and Jane's face absolutely dropped. So tonight, we were concerned chuckling about our little one's school drama, but also lamented how this is a part of her life that we no longer had complete control over. She's growing up, and I miss those carefree days when she was 2 years old, when the swings could bring her so much joy. Hold those little hands tight and take lots of video. You'll forget so fast because life keeps moving. It's fun to remember. Interesting reading this. My life is literally broken up into before kids and after kids. It's a very distinct line, never thought about if it wasn't like that grinning. I have friends whose kids are hitting high school now. It's like, sorry, what? Same in a way, but also not. I remember doing lots of things back in the day, like going to concerts, taking impulse weekend trips and stuff I obviously wouldn't be able to do with kids, so I understand it was before, but somehow I can't really grasp it. I had such a different outlook on life that it messes memories up. It was careless, impulsive, and pretty stress-free. However, the huge downside to it is that I never realized that. My kids make me appreciate things more. Everything. From a calm moment with morning coffee, to hugging my kids, to going to the grocery store and spending some alone time, just me and my oldest, to going to a cafe with the twins, to watching a movie and snuggle down with my husband in the bedroom after kids have fallen asleep. I enjoy life in the moment a lot more since I've had kids. Both kid stuff and kid-free stuff. I have an 18-month-old girl and couldn't agree more. Picking her up from nursery is comfortably my favorite part of the day, watching her run up to me arms wide open and smiling. Add to that her vocabulary exploding and getting a personality. This period feels so special. Yeah, seeing the kids I knew as babies graduate high school a few weeks ago blew me away when I saw it, and I'm only 36. The years go fast, but the days go so slow. The days go slow. I'd say this, but as a positive too. I was talking about this with my cousin, who is 50, and also child-free, and the freedom to live like you're 25 only with a better budget is pretty ducking incredible. At the end of the day, it just depends on what you want your life to be. My friends who have kids are really fulfilled by their role as a parent, and their kids are so much fun and work too, but as a kind of auntie I don't experience that part much. If you don't find having kids appealing, don't do it. If there's one major life decision you can't undo, it's this one, whereas you can get a divorce if you marry the wrong person or change careers later on in life. For example, you are young and life is long, and there is time to kill today, and then one day you find 10 years have got behind you, no one told you when to run, you missed the starting gun. Well, the years start common and they don't stop common, fed to the rules, and I hit the ground running. Nephew's wife reached out to the family chat asking if anyone could take their son for a half day. They needed some uninterrupted time together to get the house in order. Duck, yeah, we're going to the zoo. Little dude, not even 18 months yet, made his own way for 2 full laps of the zoo. Him reaching up and holding my little finger whenever he was walking and unsure of himself was just gold. A couple of times recently, my teenage son brushed his hand against mine while walking, and I said to him, "It's okay, we can still hold hands." Didn't happen. 35 and my oldest niece and many of my friends' oldest kids are driving now. Duck those kids for making me feel like this. That's a pro. Yet every time I meet a relative who only saw me when I was very young, they are like, "Damn, you aged so much. Last time I saw you, you were in my arms, and now you're taller than me." My friends' kids are now having kids. Those are not independent variables. The strain of raising a kid, as well as the scope of the task, making it difficult to accomplish anything else significant in life, are making parents actually ill. Soon they'll be off to college or move out,